Just going to make sure that it posts live. I will let you know. We might be live now, but it'll just take a moment. It's looking like we are live. I'm just going to verify on Facebook if we are. Let's see here.
Gracias. Okay.
Just taking a moment to load. Oh, we're live. We are live. Yes. All right. Welcome everybody to The Wave, Evolving Human Consciousness. We're going for a deep dive today into the Mayan tradition and plant medicine ceremonies with amazing special guest, Shuni Giron. I am so excited to have you here, Shuni. We had an amazing pre-call, learned so much about just your inspired action and how much you're just so eager to share all this wisdom, and I can feel the vibe. It's so good. So thank you for coming on. And I just want to let the audience know a little bit more about the podcast, why I'm doing this. I see in these times, there's just so much transformation that is happening in this world. And I've witnessed so many relationship breakdowns, people coming into very poor health. And I'll go in on other episodes into more reasons, but we'll stick with those two today. And I really want you to be more aware of warning signs, because I got incredibly chronically ill 10 years ago. And the more we're aware of the warning signs, we can start to access more preventative medicine. And plant healing is one of them. And you'll see even on last episode, Brian Hardy, going into all these different ways that we can heal ourselves that don't really cost much money, but really takes a deeper self-commitment to self-love and to self-awareness. And Shuni's going to bring us through all of these things. So I really want to help you really tune into yourself so that there doesn't need to be as many relationship breakdowns, or when they do happen, which I took note on what you said, Shuni, about how breakdowns lead to a breakthrough, how we can really tune into how it's an opportunity for a breakthrough and not an opportunity to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, sometimes that is the right option, but I just really want to bring information so we can really take responsibility, take ownership, and really empower ourselves to live our best lives. So on that note, Shuni, I would love for you to share with guests why you're a great educator on the Mayan tradition and on plant medicine ceremonies. So tell us a little about yourself, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Chris. Maltiosh, everyone. Hello from Guatemala. It is always a beautiful time for me to connect with my family in Canada and to bring you an insight on the plant medicine and how it is so important for each one of us to embrace that sacred. So I am a Mayan Ajq'ij. I am a Mayan spiritual guide. I've been walking with the Mayan elders for almost 20 years. I've been doing plant medicines for half of that time. And it has been a wonderful experience having to walk the sacred path with no plant medicine to give me the structure of my work, to really make me understand how the elements, how projection, how intention, how manifestation, how we imprint things in the way we look at things, in the way we carry things, in the way we approach things. So if we approach things in some sort of way, fast or hard, this is the way that things come back to us. So part of my work, working through so many festivals around the world and working through so many mountains, my job is very distinct in the clinical set. Since my work has been really focusing on what I call the master time and the master plan. I'm always guided by spirit and guided to spirit to certainly areas and certainly special sites to conduct these ceremonies. And it has really allowed me to understand that there's many things playing a part, many things that we human beings that take for granted. It's just like the elements, just like nature, just like human bonding, human heart. And this has been an amazing work for me, because I was telling you yesterday in the call that I have worked as a Mayan spiritual guide, learning the Mayan tradition, which is a tradition of honor. It's a tradition of sacred. It's a tradition of the earth. It is the tradition of the men of maize that bow to the earth and thank for their creation and the creation and their existence. So this has led me to understand almost like the sacred side of approaching things and creating this intention, a protective way of really embracing things and feeling certainty of conducting the ceremonies in a way that I feel protected by spirit, because of the purity of intention that I hold the ceremonies. So it is very important for everyone to know I have a degree in naturopathic medicine. So I have studied the medicines, but one of the greatest things that I have studied, it is the Mayan calendars. It is this Mayan spirituality. It is the understanding of time and space and how we hold that time and space together to create and manifest creation. I study the human tendencies, as well as I observe the conscious field tendencies. And this has allowed me to understand that certainly energies can be moved by certainly physical conductions of this consciousness, especially when we are conducting ceremony in a collective field. In a collective field, then you have all these minds that can be directed to healing, can be directed to enlighten, can be directed to magic. And this is some of the things that I don't think that can happen yet in the clinical trial. I think plant medicine, we're just starting to truly tap into the beauty, into the gentleness, into the dimension of what this is. And I think that I come here with heart, because I stand up in many festivals talking about conscious psychedelics. But my work is not truly just based on, I'm going to teach you how to consciously take these plants, but I want to teach my students to consciously living. Let's be honorable. Let's be gentle. Let's be aware. Let's be smart so these plant medicines can be used correctly. I think all in life, we're all evolving in a different way. We're all evolving in a different pace. But I think that we are here to set example, so the prohibition doesn't get harder. So they can see that we are getting smarter, we are getting more humanized. And this is the base of my work, trying to bring more humanness to everyone else. And part of being that humanness, it's embracing things with kindness, embracing things with gentle. I always say, when you ask for love, don't say, I need it. Just say, I deserve it. There is a real different way to embrace it. And because our conscious being shapes our medicine, our conscious mind, our awareness, our breathing, everything affects our medicine. And that's why it's so important to embrace this sacred living. We have been living out of adrenaline. Everything is adrenaline drinks and Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola. But when we can be also embracing oxytocin, which is about love. And I was telling you, Chris, yesterday, how important it is in my practice since I am from a Latin country, I'm able to be so much more warm and touchy and loving. And this is something that it's magical in a setting of healing, in a setting of ceremony, where you have the permit, you have the allow to still be human and feel that person and hug that person and be able to take your hands and be certain that you are healing it. And also the people with you giving the same. It creates this amazing empathy. It creates this human compassion that cannot be felt as much in the clinical setting. So I am very honored that I have the pleasure to work with this medicine, and to always be gentle. Always be gentle with the plants. Always respect them. Once you are a living entity, the plant is another living entity, and together you make this new living entity. So understanding and respecting each plant as a way to really evolve, it's the way to go. I can hear you. Maybe you're muting.
Totally didn't unmute myself there. That's so beautiful. I really love that. And I think it's a great way to like start things off, is really tuning into what you have learned with working through the plants about this gentleness and about this compassion. And clearly like you're really embodying this. So how has plant medicine really taught you to be more this way?
I think that what has really shaped my career or my field has been the spiritual walk. The 10 years that I have learned that fire heals, that water heals, that air heals, that people heal, the consciousness heal. And knowing that I have seen these beautiful miracles and magics, because when we do a Mayan sacred fire, is the fire that the Mayan sacred fire has subsisted the test of time. And we still embrace this. And we know people, the offering of gratitude. The Mayan, one of the most important principles of Mayan cosmology and Mayan spirituality is gratitude. Gratitude for everything we have in life. So this has allowed me to approach things in a more gentle way. And being able to work those 10 years with no medicine and doing ceremonies and doing healings without it has allowed me to see the power of love, the power of really intent, purity of intention. The purity of intention moves physical fields. And I think that has been truly the base of my work, that I figure that when I started studying the plants, I knew the connection with the earth. I knew that it can heal us from inside out. But I decided to embrace the plant medicine because I knew that the sessions will be shorter. I know I can heal someone with the sacred fire in sessions, but there is an actually urgency. The Mother Earth is calling for urgency. Climate change is calling for urgency. And so I figure if I can embrace this in the most sacred way, also it took me a long time to investigate because I conducted a whole investigation on just Mesoamerican plants, trying to understand how our ancestors, the Maya, used them in rituals, used them in ceremonies, used them for healing. And that's how I started. When I first started working with the medicine, I saw that my work was being totally cut in half, that people was getting healed faster, that people was having those momentums of transformation in such a deeper way that I started embracing. And it's been very, very successful. I have had the opportunity to work with complete families, grandmothers that are 89 years old that have taken the medicine, elders that never taken sessions have allowed me to give them this medicine. And this medicine has really transformed their lives, transformed their perspectives. And this has just been miraculous, really.
So in these sessions, like, so this is like a whole family, like in the session at the same time?
Yes, it actually has been in Canada. I work with 2 families. I work with my first family that I worked, it was an integration of 10 members that were from Iran. So this is even more miraculous, that they allow me to come and to work on them. So what I did, I had a session where an intimate session that I spent almost 24 hours there, where I learned and I did a Mayan astrology science for each one to try to find their personality and to try to find their tendencies. I observe them, I counsel them, see what was the problem among the family.
And this
I
was
think
all before the ceremony, correct?
all before the ceremony. It's a consultation. It's where you learn about how they're talking, and if they're talking angry, and you're thinking connotations of positive things they're saying, negative things they're saying. Are they angry? Is there some resentment there? Are they violent a little bit? If they're aggressive. So once you conduct this beautiful, it's, I would say, a clinical understanding who they are, but it's a Mayan session. They're able to tell me, and I can able to see their experience, and I am able to see how are they going to react to this medicine. And this allows me really to see if they're candidates to take the medicine or not. In the case, this was a beautiful Persian family that they were very gentle. They had had a few problems among each others, and we were able to solve them. But it was beautiful to have the trust, because after I did the 10 consultations, then we did a Mayan ceremony. Nobody on medicine, where they offer, where they work their aspects, where we call the energies, where I make them offer for the people that they had hurt, where I make them, I call these sessions an alignment. For me, it's an alignment because I align them with the physical. In Mayan cosmology, or as Mayan spirituality, the ceremony is an alignment for you. From the moment that you go by your little candles or your little copal here, there's an energy of intent of transformation. And this moves the physical fields. I believe so. I aligned them. They felt good about it. They cried. They reconciled in the fire while they were still conscious. What it was still. So when they went into their medicine, it was for them, they had solved and resolved these issues, and they were more free to experience the medicine itself and the reconciliation, not with the other people now, but the reconciliation with their inner soul. So this has been a fantastic thing, because they really show the love. Once when they were in the medicine, they were in the medicine, it was really about them just having that breakthrough in their hearts and getting to know why they felt like that. So it was really amazing. And my second family was a family of Italians who, I believe the grandfather had the medicine, and he had just an attack of laughter, and that was his medicine for the whole. He said that he's never had the best ceremony he's ever had in his life, because his laughter continued to be maybe for like 30 minutes, but it brought this joy that he was keeping inside, that illuminated us, that created a feel of gratitude and enjoyment, that it was a holy feel. And the breakthrough took place because of this amazing thing that was just happening. So it was really amazing. And it was an honor for me to have their trust. So obviously, I acquire the medicine, I follow a protocol, I focus a lot of sets and settings, and make it in a way that is so loving. Us as Latin people, we're very warm, and so I think that made brought a lot of the compassion in, and brought a lot about the fact that people don't feel so good about saying I love you, or but for us it's easier, to embrace the hugs, and it was really an amazing ceremony.
That's
It was
incredible. So
yeah.
just to clarify, are we speaking about psilocybin mushroom for the plant?
Yes, we speak it the majority. So I have studied a lot of the plants. I took a long time studying the Salvia divinorum because I had amazing encounters with it. Galactic, UFO galactic Salvia divinorum effects. I've studied the bufo. But the substance that I work the most. I try to keep my tradition. I feel that my tradition is the psilocybin mushroom, And I had the opportunity to go to the Mazatec region and learn with the Tatuani there, who taught me how to dry the mushrooms and showed me a little bit about how he worked. Because for them in the Mazatec region, they've always used the mushroom, starting with Maria Sabina, as to heal the sick. This is the perception, and this is why I always come back to you to talk about the projection. If you project that it's going to be, that you're going to be scared, I always tell my clients, my students, don't come. I want you to be certain of what you come in here. I want you, if you project on the medicine, what you bring in. So coming with certainty, coming with love, coming with open heart, coming with compassion. The difference, like I say in my ceremonies, is that they know they're coming to a Mayan ceremony. So they know I give them the instructions that maybe this ceremony might not be for everyone, especially people that cannot be empathic, people that cannot, remove that door and they're just, don't touch me, So, but I do believe that everybody has the capacity to really embrace this medicine in a sacred way. I told you that everybody's going different, and I spoke yesterday about how do we take psychedelics from the first moment that our friends gives it to us in a ludic way, where you get taken and says open, and they give you whether an LSD, and you are like trust your friend, and you wow. And then the second way to take psychedelics is called psychonaut, where you are now curious, you kind of know that it is something, and you go purchase it, you try to go this way and understand a little bit more. And then the third way is when you realize, well, I've been studying this substance and it brings something greater in myself. It makes me feel great. It makes me see my soul. And then you use it psychotherapeutically. You use it to heal yourself. And it's an escalation of awareness. It's an escalation of that process of moving from not knowing anything to psychonaut, and then using it to heal. And then there's the fourth way, that is transcendental. When you transcend your body, when you feel good about the medicine, you know what's gonna do, and you're willing to take a higher dose to really connect, get out of the body and connect with the universe. I'm sure there's a fifth way, but I have not discovered that way yet. So it is an escalation of consciousness. It is an escalation of understanding the medicine with you. How do you work with the medicine, and how you can even go into a cellular level to clear, to heal yourself. When I give people their Mayan energy or their Mayan Nahual, their Mayan astrology, it builds a relationship where they go with their Nahual, and I tell them, your Nahual can go and clean that paint that you have in your heart. Can you send your energy to go that, or light your heart or that pieces? So it's been really an amazing thing, learning the plants and being able to see the different stages that even I have gone through. I've gone through that moment of beginning to that moment of transcendence.
Well, that brings in, there's a few questions, but right at the end here, I'm curious how your healing journey began, if there was a certain event, or really what spurred you on to this path.
Absolutely. There was an event of a lifetime. I have always, I'm born on the Day of the Ancestors in the Mayan sacred calendar. And that has allowed me to have some sort of invisible communication with the fields and invisible communication with entities. I think that since I have been always a little girl, I've always spoke to myself, and I always speak to the field. And for me, playing as a little girl, my mom was like, aren't you going to have your friends? I'm like, no, I was playing alone. And that gave me this rapport that I was never alone. I always feel connected. I feel that the medicines have taught me themselves so much more, especially the fact that I've tried pretty much many plant medicines such as iboga, wilca, and they have really taught me. It goes beyond, and the events that I have had. when I first created my first cacao ceremony, I knew I was guided to do it with psilocybin mushroom. And I was in San Marcos, in Lake Atitlan. The people that was going to come to the ceremony was two more people, never showed up. So I'm here with my cacao and I'm here with my psilocybin, and I decided to just go for it, and I decided to blend it. I didn't have a steering, so I was using a stick from a tree. And very, very interesting. It was a full moon. And I remember taking that and just being guided and feeling the land and understanding and connecting with the ancestors. And all of a sudden I'm sitting down and boom, there's this explosion of a volcano that I could see right back to it. So it was a very, very special event for me. I think that who I was truly sitting there was our great-grandmother at the time, our grandmother is Shmukane, who I feel who is my guardian, who domesticated the corn and the maize back in the Mayan lands. And I feel that this entity is the guardian of my work. I feel that she could have been Maria Sabina. So I feel guided, but what truly guides my work to this certainty is this alignment, this purity of intention, this teaching that everyone says, oh, I can take more, I can take more. And it's not about just taking more. It's about embracing what is given, because in a collective setting, you cannot take a hero doses. You cannot. You have to, it's a protocol doses for each one to be able to still be conscious using the medicine. So I use my clients, once they're in that state of consciousness, that opening of portals, I call it, that I redirect their energy into healing. I redirect their energy into projecting that. And I think that that's how I started. I started my first ceremony. I did it sitting on Lake Atitlan by myself, just trusting. And ever since that, it's been a trust and a learning experience with the Tatuani in the Mazatec region. It taught me much more of the physical aspect of how to handle the medicine, how to trust the medicine, how to speak to the medicine. Because, and I think that they have shaped me. The Los Niños Santos Teononacal has shaped me. And because it was a medicine that my ancestors embraced, as I was telling you yesterday, my house is the last district of a Mayan city called Caminal Huyu, where they found the mushroom stones. So I am literally 10 minutes from where they found the mushroom stones here in Guatemala. So I feel that I'm able to connect with this sacredness of the ritual. I love ritual. My life is ritual. But an aspect that I want to share with everyone is that life is sacred. Life is sacred. So life should be a ritual. Life should be approached. I saw that any moment that we approach things hard, things come out to blast you same hard. So if your resonance is gentle, loving, this is the resonance that you get back from the conscious field. And that is how I think I started my work, by trusting my experience as a spiritual guide, that I am able to handle any situation with love, with trust, and with spirit.
So beautiful. And to anyone who hasn't heard of these mushroom stones in Guatemala, if you just type that into Google, they're really neat. They're like quite precise carvings. I think they date back to like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. No, more than that, Chris, because this city is a city of the pre-classic site. So we're talking around 300 AD to 300 after death. So in this Mayan site, people confuse a lot. We talked a lot of yesterday about there was a cult of fertility. It was the moment that the Mayans were having the development of the seed and in the cult of fertility. There was no human sacrifice. So it's amazing that if you look at these mushroom stones from Guatemala, everyone has a character. So the Mayans truly took this medicine to communicate with their deities. They truly believed that each one was, they were the Los Niños Santos, the ones that guide them and told them things and open up their mind. And so I was fascinated with this study. Obviously, I went deep in my studies, my investigation went deep into trying to understand, was it if the Bufo Avarius came down through the Sonora Desert all the way to Guatemala and how it was used, and also some other substances too. So I went really deep into trying to learn how the Mayans used these substances in a different ways. Some different ways, very strange from us. And I think that that could have led them also to a little bit of aggressiveness, because when you mix cacao, the cacao is a MOI inhibitor for that. But if you drink too much cacao, it's going to happen to you the same, that you're going to get angry like the coffee. So there's got to be, like I say, enough. I don't give my clients so much cacao, very little cacao, because psilocybin is hard to process itself. Cacao is hard to process itself in the body. So just enough to give it, to come together and create that on you, not to overload you. And now you have a stomach ache. Now you feel heavy, and you can even feel aggressive with too much cacao. So I think that it has to be balanced. It has to be understanding. It has to be gentle. There's no rush. The experiences should be, like I told you, open more and more until you feel secure. Into intuitively, your body feels good about it. Mm-hmm. I always think that the word here is reverent. It is so important for all of us to approach and be able to take the stigma of the mushrooms are just being tripping. Of course, if you want trip, you're going to get a trip. If you want psychedelia, you're going to get psychedelia. But if you want to heal, and if you want to enter those states of consciousness that I'm talking to you about that are sacred, you can, especially if the mind comes in a sacred setting, that I'm taking this medicine, you don't play with plant medicines. They are not for parties. No, they are not there. You don't play with them, because of the intent that you have can alter your medicine. So some people has not had so many good trips. Why? Because they were trouble. The medicine reflects what is inside of you. So the approach on how you handle, that's why there is an interview. There's a pre-interview where you look at the signs. If people say, oh, I have taken the right doses, and that's not too much for me. In that moment that it's still going to be very hard to satisfy this person, because so we have to have the attunement where we teach the person that when we speak about microdoses. So because of my naturopathy, I've done many microdoses, and the body just needs a signal, just needs to send a signal to the brain. And that signal can just be sent just with a little psilocybin. And then you can increase yourself into understanding a little more and feeling good about what you're doing. But it is a learning that you have to learn to know the medicine. I wouldn't never recommend a heroic dosage for someone who's starting, but to embrace it gentle.
Yeah, I feel you, and I really feel you on the pure intention aspect. And sometimes we discover that our intentions aren't as pure, but to me, it's the desire to know ourselves as well, and like the true desire to actually see what our intentions are, if any of our intentions aren't aligned with what we're committed to, with what our values are, with what our morals are. I know I've discovered in some journeys, like seeing, I could see these little aspects of myself that weren't fully committed, and this is why I was having some of these problems. So also just wanted to mention about like the listening aspect, and I could see how that could happen if there's like too much cacao, because it's taken me so much on my journey just to listen to my body, listen to my spirit, listen to these subtle messages that are helping actually take care of myself, even to the point of like fundamentally what my needs are. Because I think in this world, so many of us get super stressed out, and then we even get out of alignment with the nourishment of like foundationally just needing water, needing to take a break from things, take some rest, make sure you're getting a full sleep, go have some fun with friends. You can't always be focusing on your work, even if your mission is like so related, like something like you're doing to be of service to others. I'm sure you've had some breakdown moments as well, that lead to a breakthrough. Because I know with myself, so many times I've given too much on this path. I'm like so excited to share. I have so much, and then I get to a point where I'm even feeling some resentment and not feeling as good about it. And I realized I wasn't taking care of myself. Would you be able to speak to this, your experiences, or maybe what you've seen?
Absolutely. So remember, you guys, it has taken me time, a lot of time, a lot of enrootment with the land to really understand feels, and to see how this can collaborate with us. Obviously, everybody's going in their own time, Chris. Everybody, we wish that everybody could be evolved, but everybody's going in their own time. So it is truly a discovery. It is truly a trust. Sometimes we're conditioned like, oh, we're paying money for this, I might as well get 2 cups. And this projection is what doesn't allow us to break through. It doesn't allow, because there's resistance. Oh, maybe 2 is not enough. So I think that people have to embrace humbly what they get at first, and then they have to feel whether this is enough. They have to learn to say this is great for the first time. And this is something that I have seen with my clients. I've seen my clients tell me this is enough, and when I have offered maybe another cap. And so we are all going at the same time. It is how you have to, the only true thing we all have as humans that is true is our intuition. We have to sharpen our intuition. We have to look at who's going to give us the medicine. If this person is aligned, if this person is someone that I want to take the medicine, and really use your intuition to see if you feel the security to be able to embrace that more medicine. To feel that this is, oh, what a beautiful setting, what a beautiful group. Maybe I feel comfortable to take. So it is all beginning with pure intuition. But I think that before the intuition, it all begins with pure intent. So what is it that you come to the ceremony for? Do you have an intent, or you want just psychedelia and you just want to see colors? And so there's gotta be an intent. The intent gives shape to your medicine. Whether it's little or is that intent will focus because it has been pre-directed on your body. So my cells know that I need to heal my heart because it was broken. So when I put that intent that I'm going to find myself and look at my heart, it's going to flower and bloom like a lotus flower once again. I come with a pre-intent that is going to be maximized in the experience because my intent has been set. So if the intent doesn't get set, then the things, sometimes, or you just do it because you're so stressed out and just, you gotta have a good intent, guys. The magic is these are 2 eyes is not, this is our 3rd eye. This eye has the power of intent, the power of telling the body to conduct the body. Okay, if I direct the body and I direct the body and I tell it, oh, there's something wrong with your left side, I have just doomed that person for the rest of his life thinking that he's going to have something wrong with his left side. So it is very important how you use the medicine and what you direct and what you tell, because you do not want to create any impact. Don't project on anyone. Look at them with the most, I always say, look at the people and look at the plants in the most innocent way, and you will get the most innocent way back. That's how I think. I believe the eye, these third eyes, our eyes and our projections hold the key of sacred living. So if I'm projecting, oh, I'm scared, oh, this is one going to magnify. So I think intention, it's really the way to go into this. And then using your intuition, knowing when it's too much, knowing, listening to our body. The Mayan sacred count of days, or the Mayan calendar, it's in our sacred bodies. It's composed of 20 energies, 10 that it connects your toes, your fingers to the heavens, and 10 that connects your toes to the earth. So I understand my body so well. I feel currents of energy going through my body. I can feel myself when I'm going to be in danger before it happens. And this is the greatest thing about knowing your body. People think that when you have an itch or your eyes is tweaking here, oh, it's just something wrong with my eye. Someone's looking at you. So we have to understand how the body tells us. We have a hidden communication. You that work with yoga, I'm sure that you know about mudras. Our bodies, the way we push, the way that we connect with our bodies in the mudras, we release energy. So in my ceremonial settings, I have ceremony, I do mudras, I do breathing, and I allow people to connect with their bodies. But what is interesting in my work, Chris, is that I not only let people connect with their bodies, I show people how magically it is to connect with the elements. And then all of a sudden, I'll be calling back the spirit of wind, and it comes down and people are shocked. And I speak to the fire, and the fire will speak to me back. And I speak about this. There's a hidden language that is the hidden language of the sacred, that it is caused by the mind. The mind creates things. Remember yesterday I was telling you about the guitar that played by itself, that we were in Lake Atitlan on my second ayahuasca ceremony, and we were sitting down, and all of a sudden my maestro ayahuasca was playing his instrument, and all of a sudden I hear the guitar on my side, and I said, who's disrespecting the maestro? And I turn around, and this guy is looking at me, and I'm looking. The owner of the guitar, the guitar was behind, played itself, and it was just so impacting to me for me to see that, because he looked at me and he tells me, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Of course I saw it." So then we have to witness that I was not just in the ayahuasca, and this didn't happen. This really happened. So there is, as the world is spirit, guys. And I am here to tell you that it is real. It is real. That there is the spirit of the sacred. The sacred, when there's purity, there's intention. Oh, I wanted to go see my mom, but I didn't. That's not purity of intention. Purity of intention is I'm going to work on these people from my heart. And that is what purity of intention is. Another thing that I want to share with you guys is projection. So people tell me, how come I don't worry so much about my ceremonies? People going, because you never know, what's going to happen. Same with ayahuasca, whether there's going to be an aggressive behavior or worse. And he's like, how do you know that? And I said, I make an alignment. So before I conduct the ceremony, I am already lighting my candles for the group. And I am asking for this group to really make myself be an instrument to really guide these people into their higher beings. And this alignment that I make independent, allows me to feel certainty. I've had a woman that wasn't breathing, that was passing out, and everybody was, call the doctor, call the paramedics. And I said, relax, watch, with this certainty of my heart. And I took a little bit of water, and I blessed the water in my heart, and I put it in here in my heart. And then I started putting it in the woman, and the woman came right back, and everybody was like, wow. But it is this alignment, this sacredness, this holiness, that spirit watched over me. And it's something that it really walks on my side. And I want to share this with everyone, because when you do this, then you really walk in the sacred path. It took me 5 minutes to align my ceremony. I didn't know who was going to come to the ceremony, but I had aligned myself in my purpose. And that was master plan. That was the key for me that's the key for me not to worry, that I'm doing things correctly, that I'm doing things in the most transparent way.
Yes, so beautiful. Yeah, and I think that's so important, and it leads me to something I wanted to share that I feel really really correlates, because you keep talking about intention and purity of intention. Like, I feel like this just keeps coming back, and something that I've been so grateful for working in plant medicine ceremonies and also holding space for people is I get clear on if I have a specific question in my life that's really like I just really want answered, for example. I realize that I can get answers from the plant medicine if my intention is pure, but I've actually stayed with something long enough where it's just like, it's just so deep in there that I can't figure it out. Like, say if it's a certain chronic pain I'm feeling, or something along those lines. But the beauty of working with these things is I know I will get answers. And if I'm not doing my due diligence in actually tuning into myself and really examining these things, trusting my own intuition, then in reality, I feel like it's still some level of an abuse of the relationship. So I'm so grateful to know the power, because I tune in and I get the answers a lot of the time without the plant medicines, because they've taught me, as well as my own spiritual practice, like that I can tune into my own intuition. And I love what you're talking about like healing trauma, because there's some things that are buried deep and in our cells, and that are ancestral, like patterns that have been carried through our DNA, that if it wasn't for these medicines, I really don't know. Like, because there's a history of mental disorder in my family and things like that, that I'm just so grateful. And it's one of the reasons why you're here and this is being offered, because those are areas that I've been working with for freaking years, and so much pain, and like really wanting to know but couldn't figure it out. And then these areas opening that I had no idea were there.
Absolutely. The power of psilocybin, the fact that it allows to lighten us the part of the brains that have been lit up, that allows us to go into prenatal and understand maybe these traumas. It is the magic. Only things in Maya, today is the day that brings things to the light. I always say the beauty of the plant medicine is that once you download this, it doesn't go back up. This information has already downloaded on you. This obviously, only if you have breakdown, you can have breakthrough. And I have noticed that, even remember the story I was telling you of this person with cancer having to be sitting next to the person who was having a very rough time and going crazy and going rah and making sounds and scaring people. And that medicine, that person giving the medicine to this person that was having the cancer, and having not just the psilocybin mushroom, but having also this intense reaction of this person next to him, was giving her also a breakthrough. Because the way our brain works is that we're set in tendencies, patterns, synapses connecting with the autonomous synapses, and you walking like almost with your blind eyes, And when the psilocybin comes in the brain, it allows you to lighten those parts of the brain that have a light and stops your default mode network. And in the stopping of the default mode network is when tendencies can get broken. A tendency can only be released if you do this, you're going to have to do this to get rid of this stick and to be able to be in balance. And what this gentleman was creating a double breakthrough for this woman. And she said the next day it was like she had felt like she's never been alive. Something had really like moved all her body and her brains and her consciousness, and it allowed this cancer to break through and to realize that the medicine have given him that healing that she needed, that strength to understand things better, to understand why she was going through the cancer. And I think that that's what we have to embrace. We have to be brave, because we are in a moment in time, you guys, where we need to recognize ourselves, our soul. So many people are lost. Obviously, with the Mayan consultation and the archetypes being observed over thousands and thousands of years helps and gives you some sort of a guide. That's why people come to me. And when they come and get a consultation, just a consultation, people come out of there transformed. But what's funny is that not only are they transformed, but the energy that I gain back, I'm in a state of hype just like them. So it is really miraculous. Imagine this energy being used with psilocybin. Imagine this energy being tuned. Now you know who you are, and wow, you're Jaguar. And now you go in your journey into being the awareness that's seeing the Jaguar, what is wrong with you. It's really magical. But it is true. Everybody has to be brave enough to go see yourself. There is nothing more precious than to get to know who you are. What is your soul made of behind your clothes and your hair and your physical? What is your spirit look like? How is your light? Do you have a little light? You have a big light? What are you made of? And this is, I think plant medicines has given me the greatest gift, to know that my benevolence can be so great, that my love can be so strong, my passion can move the world. And that, I think that is the greatest gift that plant medicine is here. There is a communication. When we talk about plants, we think, oh, plants are just healing us. But I want us, all of us, to go just a little bit farther than that and think about the message that the earth has given the plants to give us. Because this is what it's all about. Now you think that we are evolving, but let me tell you, plants are evolving. The earth is evolving with it. Animals are speaking to us. Animals are letting us know what's going on. And I do believe that also plant medicines are evolving, and they know that there's an urgency for humanity to awaken to the most beautiful thing, that is awaken to your own soul, which is where they can see that there are endless souls, the body that goes beyond the body. You are beyond the body. Your energy will move beyond this body. Your love will move beyond this body, and your benevolence will keep growing. We are this. If there was not a prohibition 50 years ago, we will be so much more ahead. But I do believe that everything is master time and master plan. I believe that this was the moment. This was the resurrection of the human spirit. This is the moment for all of us to embrace ourselves with first honor. If you embrace the honor, then you embrace the courage. But first you have to bow. This little bow teaches us so much. Just, Reverend, who are you bowing to? I am bowing to my friends, to the Creator, to existence, to the fact that now I have this human being body and I'm able to embrace all creation. So the bow, people, is just, this little bow just makes you holy, because you are holy. And if you walk yourself holy, then you're going to get the medicine holy. And the situations you will attract will be holy. If you're a peacemaker, you will get the peace back. But so, because it's, so the power is to know yourself. The power is to be courageous, to take the medicine with honor. This is the day to go meet myself. Con permiso, with permission. With permission. Always ask permission, guys. Take your medicine and says, con permiso, with permission. Permission to the Creator to take this. Permission to the Mother Earth to take this. You're going to be just fine.
Shuni, my heart is so warm. My body feels electrified with the conviction of your message. I was just going to ask you, is there a universal message that the plant medicine is bringing? And I feel like you touched that so deeply, but if there's anything else, and even just want to take a moment where you take a breath, because you're bringing just some incredible energy in. So for anyone watching and here now, why don't we just take a collective inhale and just really feel this beautiful unifying love.
Absolutely. So everybody that is with us, just take a deep, put your hands in your heart and don't be shy. Remember, that's what changes the key. Being able to show that you are loving, that you are emotional, that you are passionate. Put your hands in your heart and breathe in that passion. Bring in the love. Bring in that, what I call that purity of intention that I'm teaching you so deeply. And then open your arms and let's just give unconditional love to the earth. Ready? One more time. Take a deep breath. And open it gracefully, because unconditional love is given gracefully. There you go. Wonderful. Do that in your ceremonies and just let them have it. Because once you give it to them, you give it to yourself. Everything you don't give to yourself, you take from yourselves, you guys. So that's how I always share. I share my messages, I share my medicine, I share my teachings, because I believe that these gifts are for this life. So give your gifts for this life. This is your legacy that you will leave for the other. You know, give your message, connect with the earth. When you ask me, is there a universal message? Yes, there is the universal message of intent. Of intent, you guys. Everything, if we're projecting that we're not going to make it in the earth, that all this is, we already don't have a chance. The projection, the third eye, it's here. This is the magic one. If you project that the clarity is going to come to you through that amazing ayahuasca ceremony, it will come. Life has to be an intent. Life has to be wax sacred. Everyone, we all need to wax sacred. We all need to be gentle. We don't need to rush into everything. The problem is that we want to have everything at one day. We want to try all the experiences. And that's what I tell you guys. We are embracing everything is adrenaline. But this is not, if you look at from our heart coherent, that is not normal. To be out there, to be always in this aspect, not only did you bring the vibration of yourself completely out of control, but you are disrupting the conscious field of humans. You think that so the gentler that we are. Also, a very important aspect that I remember when I took the Wilca, I was going to do the Mayan Sacred Fire for the Mayan Heart Festival in Tikal, and it was probably 3 days before. When I took the Wilca, before I took the medicine, I was crying. I knew the medicine was just going to just take me to another level. And when I took the medicine, the Wilca is the sacred medicine. It's like 3 hours instead of bufo. So it was really powerful. I remember when I was in the medicine, I remember I was teaching my students telepathically in Tikal, and I was telling them, watch your breathing, because every plant will give you a different breath. And in the breath, it's the awareness, and it is the elevation of consciousness. So breathe right. Watch how the plant shows you how to breathe. And I was able to bring that back from my Wilca trip, and understood that our breath, being able to expands the medicine, expands the mind, breaks the synapses in our brain. And that is the miracle of how the psilocybin and how these plants work. Breathe. Breathe is the only way to be sure, is the way to only calm the spirit, is the way to channel the energy. And you probably know even better this because you are a Kundalini yoga teacher. So I say that what you walk sacred, you embrace it sacred, you have nothing to worry. Anytime that you feel scared, I always tell my students, go to your heart. The heart is the safest place. Go to your heart and stay there and be there and embrace your heart. And that has really helped a lot.
Mm. Wow,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
resonate so much, and I
Yeah,
just want to say one final word
sure.
on this softness and gentleness you're talking about, because I've noticed so much in my healing journey, so much hardness in me, and I've really come to realize that so much of why I had trouble tuning into more of that gentleness and that softness is I didn't trust the universe, and I didn't recognize my connection to life. So I wasn't open to being supported. I thought that I needed to control things more or use more force to be able to even just to receive needs, but wants as well, and not even understanding my need for love, my need for human connection, my need for touch, platonic touch with men as well. And like I'm just so grateful for your message, and feeling even more of this grace and gentleness, because I know there's so many out there who are still having trouble trusting life with so many different traumas that have occurred, and so many experiences that they have had to be like, well, no, but life is like this. It's not that safe. There's people that are out there that are malicious. So as a final closing, I would love for you to touch on this, because I know there's so many that have trouble accessing this message that you're speaking.
Yes, because remember, because it's been a walk for me of 20 years and going to mountains and going to sites and transforming and conducting energy and going cemeteries and going concentration camps and being able to flip these energies that were energies of turmoil. It's a mastery. It's a mastery. But I want everybody to know that the harness that each independent person is feeling, it is the reflections of the hardness that they have lived. So some of us maybe not born into a family that is so open or so loving, and different customs, different places, different countries. So this also takes a toll into how we're brought into resistance, the resistance that we can resist, that we cannot be touched, that we cannot be hugged, that we cannot embrace that so easy. It is easy for me because obviously I was born in a culture where it's very warm, people is very touchy, very warm. um, but I do want to say something. The harness is something that each one of us have to go through individually. If it was not presented to you, Chris, this harness in this way, you would have never learned from it. So I always say the best way to truly go into medicine, observe your reactions. Every day is a self-evaluation. Why did I feel that? And why did I say that? And what made me say that? So life, the best I've been able to evolve, because I was hard. So my tendency, my Nahual, my Mayan energy is tough, is the energy of death. So just with that, that's a hard thing. So
Yeah.
understanding my tendency has allowed me to know that if I can soften it, you can soften it. So it allowing me to see myself, whether I know my Mayan energy or no. It's observing how you pass the water, observing how you talk to people, observing this action. Are you imprinting things? Because let me tell you, when we can look at someone and we can imprint someone so deeply without having to say a word. Just looking at there, we just imprinted that person like she was a ghost or something. So even learning to approach our eyes gentle. Oh, when we're saying, oh, I don't trust that guy, we're making a huge imprint already on this person. So what I'm trying to tell you is what you guys have to learn to mastery is knowing that in quantum mechanics, we know that the moment that you see things get imprinted and they change. In the moment, if we look at a flower not so pretty, the flower is not going to get prettier. It's going to die. But the flower that we look at, this flower is so beautiful and we embrace it, the flower is going to want to show up herself even more. It's the same with life. So the best way to really be able to understand and guide yourselves into what kind of stereotype is observing. Do I pass things wrong fast? Do I talk the kind of violent? Is my tendency to talk sick or sarcastic? Observe yourselves, because when you take the medicine, that hardness is gonna come out 3 times. And then you're gonna have a big observation, having that hard way to break through. In that moment, you have to identify it and you have to say, gentle, this is just the way my tendency, but it's not me. Because we truly come violet. Our aura is violet when we come to this world. And through problems and through things, our magnetic fields gets changed, our tendencies, and how we talk with our mother, or how we talk with the people, or this push, it's an imprint. So if we watch that, if we are able to go beyond just sit back and watch, be the observant of your own life. And are you gentle? Are you walking gentle? Are you stepping your floor? Are you stepping on the ground really hard? Observe. And then you'll see that maybe your body has been formed and created through the conscious field in a heart atmosphere. Just know that if you don't have that, your medicine will be harder. Will be expressing the way it knows the body, the way your body knows how to express, not the way, but it allows you to see it from the observant side. And that's when you can change it. And then to say, well, maybe I shouldn't be so hard. And then there's the reflection of the medicine. Maybe I am that gentle human. I am. The atmosphere, the high-paced city has made me like this, but that's not me. That's not you.
Yeah, even if you've experienced it a lot of your life, like you're saying, you can still recognize that's not you. You know, it was a chosen behavior. It might have been a chosen behavior down your ancestral line. We don't know what our soul came in here with, that we needed to come into this, whatever family that we're in, to be able to learn how to be with what's already in our energy.
Mm-hmm. So in Maya, you have your Mayan Nahual. You have a certain tendency that you're born under. Just like there's people that study dogs, I study humans. I study humans and I study conscious fields. And I look at how conscious fields affects those guys. So you might have a tendency, you might have, like you say, we might have hereditary this, hereditary that. But now we know with DNA that hereditary is not so accountable, believe me or not, that you can reshape your DNA. You can remaster your creation. And so what I'm trying to say is, for sure, we have to be able to see that also the conscious field affects us, the trends affects us. And this changes your human context. So you have your Nahual, and now it's being shaped by your human context. And once you remove the mask, because through plant medicine, there's no masks. That's when you truly find yourself. That's when you truly learn about the ego. We should be learning about ego when we are 15 years old, maybe earlier, because 12, 13, we should teach our children about what is ego? What is this mask about? But the beautiful confrontation is that you learn if you go like the inner way, you go to take the medicine to learn who you are in true essence. You're really gonna know the person that you are. It's not the conscious field that shape you, or the hereditaries the traits you have, not even the Mayan Nahual, So it is important for each one of us to observe our behaviors, observe if we serve the water gentle, if we're eating with consciousness, I am here to really invite everyone to embrace the gentle human, to embrace the gentleness of life, to remember that just like I grab a cup of coffee nice and gentle and I drink it gentle, the water is going to go gentle through me. If I drink it too hard, it hurt me. I'm saying, and this is the beauty of this return. The plants are teaching us awareness. The plants are teaching us sacredness. The plants are teaching us that we are like them. I always think, when I first took the Salvia Divinorum, I knew this feeling. I took another plant that it's the Mayan tree of life, which is a plant that I mix with the cacao. I knew this taste. So it makes me believe, was I a plant? Was I maybe evolved from a plant to a human? But the manifestation is great. I mean, the plants, even any DMT that you take is different. I mean, to be able to go into this dimension of the DMT and go into the higher state of consciousness where you can input a new reality. You can't. That is the magic of these substances, that it really allows each one of us to go into organic level. I remember my perception. I don't see flowers the same I looked at flowers. Flowers are, for me, they have a twist and they have a geometry. And so the elevation of consciousness, it's almost like I was in a state of consciousness here, and then my eyes open up and I'm here. And now my eyes open up to recognize even more. When in the DMT, some people cannot take the DMT. The DMT of the plants, not the ayahuasca, but maybe the mimosa, because it's a little rough to inhale. Sometimes I have to take it for them, and I have to go and use it for healing them. But the medicines are a tool. The medicines, more than a tool, guys, they are a gift. And we have to be appreciated about this gift that we've been given, the opportunity. Like I say, the smarter that we know, the more that we understand, the more sacred that we control ourselves, the more that we can show the world that this is in tune with ourselves, that this is safe for humans to be enlightened. We're talking about the Mayan civilization, but I am talking about world civilizations that had their involvement through the plant medicine, not just the Maya. The Maya have, no, I'm not going to say the most perfect calendar. They have the most elaborate calendar in the whole world. Then they have the most elaborate language in the whole world. So we think of these societies are kind of prehistoric, but when they're in reality, they did this without a telescope. They have cycles of Venus calendars. What I'm telling you is that if we really, really use these plant medicines with the most integrity, we are going to be having breakthroughs, and people will not be so lost. Plant medicine can give you a reconciliation with your own soul.
Wow. Wow, these are just incredible ways, incredible downloads. I noticed a few comments of people mentioning how beautiful the energy is that you're sharing. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for any more from this podcast, because this is the energy that I really have wanted to translate more, and for people to feel like we are coming home to Mother Nature, like we are coming home to the very essence of what we love about our mother and our father. Like, this essence energy is in these plants. This essence energy is in all of us, and we're being shown how to commune, how to come into union, and that it's normal and natural to act and speak and express from this place. And honestly, Shuni, you are a model. You are a beautiful model of this.
So this is the word, Chris. You just said it. Natural. Let's be natural. Let's act natural. I remember when I was my daughter is 18 years old, and it was pretty much a long time ago that I had to tell my daughter what is my work. I had to tell my mother. My mother is it's a lie, and she's a lawyer and she's a forensic, and I had to, and it was very hard for them to understand. And now I see my mother embracing my work. It has become natural for her. My daughter, has become natural. And even my daughter, I said, I would love for you to follow my steps. My daughter said to me, Mom, the time will come. I know when the time is right. Not pressuring, not being, okay, show me. Just gentle, and allowing this natural process to lead us into the greatest human beings that we are. The earth needs us. So the message of the plants is truly the message of the earth. It's truly coming from the core of the land, allowing us to evolve. Plants have been evolved, and plants also are in danger at this moment. So it is important for all of us to, just when you take it, be reverent. Be reverent. When you cut the flower, be reverent. When you cut the tree, be reverent. Because they know, they feel, they communicate. Now we have so much scientists understanding the world of the mycelium out there, and how trees connect and how plants connect. And so I think it is all of us. This is the reconciliation with us, with our Mother Earth. It was the moment that we were putting into houses that we stopped looking at the skies and we stopped feeling the earth. And I think that the greatest call and the greatest urgency is for the Mother Earth to really be recognized as the living entity that she is, and embraced. Through many of my studies on Mayan cosmology, I always say, all the tatas, they kneel to the earth. I want you to ask yourselves, when was the last time that you just kneel in the earth? You know, I've been very lucky, Chris. Like I say, my work it's unbelievable. But I've been able to do sacred ceremonies in the Mayan sacred sites. One of my first ceremonies with psilocybin was in Tikal. I've done in Misco Viejo, Caminal Huyu. So I've always been fortunate enough to be doing in here. And I remember when I was taking the bufo in one of the Mayan sites, I remember myself pulling myself back to the ground. And in that moment, I was breathing the mother. I could have my connection with the breath, with the mother. I can feel the mother. I can smell her. And it was just an amazing. I remember lifting up and seeing the sun in top of the temple. And it was just one of those experiences where I was one with the earth. When I took the Wilca, I was perching. And I kept saying, can you see that I'm perching for the Mother Earth? So I had become the Mother Earth. And in that moment, I saw the relationship of that energy coming into me. I felt like I was breathing to her and she was breathing back to me. And it was this freshness in my soul. And this is what I want everyone to experience. Experience just giving it to the Mother Earth. When I do my mudras, a lot of my mudras give to the Mother Earth. And I've been able to connect with these fields of energy. I want you guys to know that, like I say, you can use the elements to heal. People, when we come to our ceremony, the fire is one of the elements that we use because the fire cannot be contaminating. So it transmutes everything. And it's a medicine. So we have medicine in our body. We have medicine in the conscious fields. We have medicine everywhere. We're looking to project the medicine and we're embracing. Even, I always say, a pen can become a magic wand once you put the intent on it.
Aho.
Maltios.
Thank you again. I love everything you're saying, and that reverence to Mother Earth and connecting and talking about like your mudras and giving back to the mother. We are out of time, but Shuni, I would love for you to come back
I would love to come back.
we have about our next four guests set up, but I would love to have you back in a month or two. So I heard a yes, so I'm really grateful.
Thank you. And any questions that I can ask, I'm willing to ask. Like I say, I have learned great things from the science because I feel that it is important to understand even deeper the plants. But my true understanding, it comes from that sacred site. It comes with that sacred place, you guys. And maybe we don't have any experience or so much information about the plants and so much information, or, you just haven't discovered. But I'm going to tell you, but always when you lead yourselves with the right intent comes back to shows you the great magic of your intent. So with those words, I want to thank you, Chris, and I want to thank everyone for watching, and I want to thank everyone for giving the chance to really understand that there is a sacred way of living life. It's just with the morning, like the little bow in the morning, gratitude. Thank you that I am alive. Thank you that I am here. One thank you. People that tells me I have so many consultations and people say, well, and I said, do you have any gratitude? And they look at me and they say, oh my God, I haven't been grateful. So let's be grateful for what this moment that we are living. I want you to know that each one of you choose to be here in this time. I want you to know that each one choose your parents to be your parents. So most important, embrace this transformation. This transformation that is happening. Let's embrace the plants. Let's rejoice the plants. Let's be honorable about the plants. And the most important, let's be natural with the plants. Thank you, everyone. And from Guatemala, I would love to come back and continue with this talk. And from the heart of Guatemala, I want to thank the spirit of the medicines. I do want to thank the spirit of Maria Sabina that always by my side, because I believe that what truly helped Maria Sabina heal was her innocence. She always had the veladas and she always had the candles and she always passed the mushroom through the copal. That's what I'm talking about. This is some sacred things that the gentleness, the embrace, the medicine feels it. And we connect with that. So gentle humans, gentle livings, gentle heart. Thank you so much, Chris.
And how can people get a hold of you if they want to learn about you more?
Well, I'm teaching right now a course of Mayan spirituality online. Since we're all in the COVID, they can find me in Facebook. My website is www.shunigiron.gmail.com. And you can find me there, or anytime my Facebook, my messenger. I'm available. I am a very easy person to reach. I am a person that is always open to listen, and I'll be happy to help. And more than anything, I would love to invite you to come to Guatemala to try the medicine here, because I have permits to be able to do ceremonial like 500 years, like thousands of years. The Mayan, we have the arrangements of peace in Guatemala that allows us to do sacred ceremonies in the sites, in the ancient sites. Guatemala is the only country in the world that does this.
That's so incredible.
So if anybody would like to come and share here in Guatemala, we can do some sacred medicine in the sacred sites and be able to embrace something that was of the past and now it's of the present. So I'm usually traveling a lot. My second home is Canada. I love Canada. I feel the Canadians have such a great mind. I think that one of the greatest conversations I've ever had has been with my Canadians. I always feel like I'm not the teacher, where they're just my fellow friends, because they have such an incredible open minds. And so I invite them to Canada. Probably if everything goes good, I'll be coming to Canada to share ceremony with you, and then you can see this process and look at the shamanic aspect of my work. And I would really be open for the study, because just like there's many clinical studies, I will really be open to do a research on how collective energy can heal also, and how these ceremonials, shamanic ceremonies, can really, really use the elements of shamanic magic. How do you create it? There's heart magic. Doesn't need any tricks, So heart magic is what makes things flow. So I would really love to come back, and I invite everyone to come see me in Guatemala. And if anybody's interested in following the spiritual path, I will be more than happy to share, because when I give everything.
Well, I can tell, I can feel it. So thank you again.
Thank you.
The wave has reached the shore. This has been quite the ride. So Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for your open hearts. Please share the video if this has really resonated with you. Next week, we'll have Darren Austin Hall on. And I know there's a lot of things that have kind of been shaken up recently in the Toronto spiritual community. So this will be a great opportunity to dive deep and to hear what Darren Hall has to say about what's happening really right now in the world, what's happening on a spiritual level, and for him to share more about what he does and what he's all about. He's an incredible sound healer, an amazing DJ. The sounds that come out of this guy's voice, he refers to them as shamanic sounds, is just really incredible. And he's a trusted brother, and he's done so much in the Toronto spiritual community to really build it to what it is today. So I hope you all tune in. Again, we're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. And this podcast tonight will continue to be on the Facebook page. So please, again, bring your friends, like the Way Facebook page, and we'll see you next week. Also, if you have any questions for Shuni, get a hold of her. You can also private message me if for some reason you can't, and we'll either she can address your question before next episode, or we can share your question on next episode. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity. Keep it loving, keep it clear, and keep it real. Thank you from Guatemala. It's been a pleasure to be with you, Chris. Thank you very much.